all of you at the virtual summit of be.hive, the behavioral solutions to water pollution. I'm very honored and excited to be recording this video message for all of you today. My name is Melati Wijsen. I'm 20 years old and a full-time change maker. I am recording this video as a sort of introduction and empowering message for all of you today. So I hope from wherever you are watching this on your screens, you are ready, excited, and determined to see change happen, because I believe that we all have a role to play. My story as a change maker started when I was 12 years old, and my younger sister Isabel was 10 years old. This was about 8 years ago now. We had an idea. We wanted to make our island home of Bali plastic bag free. How many of you have ever thought of a really big, crazy idea like that? I can imagine a lot of you are saying, I have done that before. So me and my sister, we thought of this idea. We thought of this new vision of change, and the rest was history. We set out on our first organization called Bye Plastic Bags and started to build a team. This was lesson number 1. You cannot do it on your own. So to all of you who have those wild and crazy ideas, make sure that you have a good, solid team around you that can take your idea and turn it into reality. And next step or next lesson that we learned very quickly on was to keep things creative. How could we make sure that we were inviting all levels of the community to be part of this change? We want to make sure that we're creating inviting narratives so that everyone can create change. We did a lot of educational workshops, a lot of meetings with politicians, a lot of village community socializations and gatherings, surf competitions, fashion shows, festivals, lots of different techniques and ways to ensure that we were involving everybody. Because again, change definitely does not happen overnight, but it also will definitely not happen if we do it alone. We need to have a momentum with us. We need to have a team, because together we can create change. Today, Bye Plastic Bags has achieved the ban on single-use plastic bags, straws, and styrofoam, together with the work of so many like-minded individuals and so many like-minded organizations today, where Bali is finally plastic bag free. And now globally, all around the world, young people from all corners, just like you and I, have seen what we are doing in Bali, what we have been able to achieve, and say, hey, I want to do the same back where I come from. Today, Bye Plastic Bags is in 60 locations in over 30 countries, all led by other students. And today, it is my greatest honor to invite and to introduce Shria to take the rest of this presentation to all of you. I hope that you are going to be inspired by Bye Plastic Bag's story, but not only that, that you will be ready to go out into your local communities and create solutions to water pollution.
When one of the most intelligent men to ever have lived. Indeed, Sir Isaac Newton needed an apple to fall on his head to deduce the law of universal gravitation. Sometimes we all need a little push to spark a new revelation. And yet the little push provided by the plastic pollution problem has created much more than a revelation, but what can be better stated as a revolution, at the forefront of which is Bye Plastic Bags. Bye Plastic Bags' global and local initiatives largely revolve around 3 key pillars of change. That is education, domestic initiative, and finally, political action. In terms of education, our global format often complies with items such as school presentations, the development of culturally appropriate educational resources, a national essay contest right here in the United States, informative Instagram posts, and course development and organizational consulting. More specifically, in the state of Pennsylvania, throughout the duration of the past few months, specifically during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, our educational initiatives have been focused on exploring intersectionality in environmentalism and reducing the opportunity gap, often working with organizations such as Chatham University's Eden Hall campus. Next, Bye Plastic Bags Pennsylvania aims to implement domestic initiative that is encouraging people towards personal initiative and personal implementation of what is often labeled as the 5 Rs. That is, refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. This has occurred globally through a Singapore-based WhatsApp challenge for a week at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, as well as ongoing Instagram challenges for major events such as Plastic Free July or Earth Day. Finally, and perhaps most ostensibly, Bye Plastic Bags actively participates in and contributes to political action in terms of encouraging newfound legislation, as well as simply the implementation of community-based guidelines when it comes to the reduction of plastic pollution on a global scale. Sir Isaac Newton stated in his first law of motion that a net force causes an object to change its state of motion. Fortunately, Bye Plastic Bags has purposefully, actively, and successfully served as a net force, creating a change in state in governments and communities throughout the international community when it comes to the plastic pollution problem. In Bali, the petition to ban plastic bags was successful. And right here in Pennsylvania, while the petition to tax plastic bags is still ongoing and not yet successful, recently the state ended the ban on plastic bag bans and soon plans to implement a plastic bag ban in the major city of Philadelphia. When it comes to political action, we've also learned the importance of working with other local organizations. For example, working with organizations including Penn Environment and No Plastic Please throughout our journey here in Pennsylvania. Isaac Newton stated in his second law of motion that a net force causes an object to travel in the same direction as the net force being applied. And the net force applied by the framing of the plastic pollution problem impacts our ability to solve the problem, effectively causing the solution to travel in the exact same direction. That is, the precise mannerism in which we frame the plastic pollution narrative impacts our capacity, ability, and potential when it comes to actually resolving the problem and the methodology with which we approach those solutions. Currently, the narrative of plastic pollution revolves around facts and statistics, such as 50% of plastic was manufactured in the last 15 years. 500 billion single-use plastic bags are used each year, and 10% of plastic ends up in the ocean. The basic conclusion that we see everywhere is that plastic pollution never goes away. And while that's an accurate and important conclusion, it makes us imagine the problem as one of polar bears and penguins, when in reality, the plastic pollution problem is one of people. Because plastic pollution is present in our everyday lives as environmental racism, prenatal plastic exposure, and biodiversity reduction, resulting in ecosystem instability and a loss in agricultural productivity. So yes, plastic pollution is a problem of penguins and polar bears, but it is also a problem of people. People such as you and me, which is exactly why we must once again turn towards the words of Newton and realize that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. In the words of Anne-Marie Bonneau, we don't need a handful of people doing zero waste perfectly. We need millions of people doing it imperfectly. And you can make your imperfect contribution. Plant your imperfect seed of change today by joining Bye Plastic Bags. Hopefully, through such actions, your seed of change will grow into a tree of change. Perhaps an apple tree that sparks a new revolution. Thank you.